I met a gypsy.
I think the hardest part for us is the fact you're on a mountain. You're trying to get one guy, so it takes me like 4 minutes to do a lap, but we need to have 3-minute gaps for the TV because it takes me 4 minutes to get down, so that next guy can't drop in. There's a lot of logistical problems that come with trying to document downhill mountain biking on a mountainside that people don't really consider. It's actually much closer coverage-wise to rallying, with your stages and almost needing a helicopter, and obviously they're experimenting a lot with drones at the moment, and it's really difficult to cover that, and the live TV slot costs an eye-watering amount of money, and a lot of people don't realise that either. So you need to compress the show, and that is probably one of the number one reasons. It's like you can't just have a 2-hour long live TV slot without paying hundreds of thousands. Like, you need to shrink that down. And like you say, if the fans only want to see the top 30 guys, well, I'm afraid to say, if you're not in the top 30, it's, keep trying. You might just get there, but for right now, you're not there, and the harsh reality of it.
Yeah, and I think too, though, the thing that people forget, right, is would you rather be the dude that gets 31st at a World Cup or the guy that wins the Continental Series?
Well, exactly. To me, the guy that wins the Continental Series, because everybody's looking at him as the next World Cup guy. It looks a lot better than the last World Cup guy, undoubtedly. It gives you more confidence. Losing every single weekend drives you down. It gets to you. You're better to be in an environment where it's not easy to win, but to win for as long as possible until you have to move up. Because a winning environment is a much better place to develop an athlete than in a losing environment, So I absolutely agree with that as well. You're bang on.
And people would want to watch it because he's in all, like, if you don't have him on the hill next to Loic Bruni, the dude looks like a fucking animal, which is the same as, like in the motocross or supercross, like you watch the pulp race. I mean, it's probably a bit different in motocross. Like, the talent does drop off a bit, but you can watch, like, Josh Hill won the race last time. I still want to watch Josh Hill race. If he's the dude that's going to win the race, like, I want to watch him win a race. But it's like, if he's getting 21st and Eli Tomac and Jet Lawrence are battling for the win, I'm watching that part of the race. So I think, like, again, as long as there's an opportunity for these other series where you can be the winning guy, there will be fans that will want to watch you win those races. And that's way better than being the 31st guy where you're basically someone's piss break in a broadcast.
Exactly. That is exactly it, and that is where the sport is going. And you obviously agree it's the right thing. I do believe that as a model is the right way to do it. So yeah, that's, to me, is let's go with that. Let's be positive about it, and let's make some change and try and help the sport grow, because it can only be a good thing, in my opinion. And I think when those other series are here and they're booming and all that stuff's doing really well, I think people will look back on this just like 29er wheels and go, actually, that was pretty good, glad we done that. And that's what I'm hoping for.
And as far as, like, the money, has any of the money from the Warner Brothers investment, like, directly hit the riders?
I wouldn't say so. No, I've not noticed that. Obviously, I'm on a different program this year, changing to my own team now. I have to pay myself, so it's kind of nice in a way, to be honest. Yeah, broke AF. That's it's nice. At least I only have to argue with myself when I want more money. But like I say, the riders got if you were available and you had good points, you had a good season last year, you were making good money this year. This is probably one of the best years you'll ever have in downhill mountain biking. But normally, really, no. I wouldn't say we have yet noticed, but it's only been 3 years, maybe. Yeah, 3. It's not a long time out of, I think, a 7-year contract. So we're not even really we're just approaching the halfway mark. So I'm really hoping that this is now we're going to start to see it, and hopefully they can vocalize and actually publicize the extra viewing figures that we are getting. But like I say, I've walked into multiple places in Europe now on a Sunday, and Eurosport or BT Sport or TNT's been on the TV, and Our Sport has been on the telly, and I think that in itself is massive, and we should all be embracing that and enjoying that part of it. And yeah, the subscription fee is obviously, you know what it's like when you put things behind paywalls, it really pees the core audience off. But if you're getting a good show, then I think people will be okay with that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think it's just like from a business standpoint, you know, like there's just a way that the world is now. And it's like we're in this attention economy. And if you have attention metrics, then it's kind of just like up to you to leverage that. I mean, that's literally my job. Like we got 1 million hours of watch time this month on YouTube. And it's like, how do I leverage that? How do I get people to pay me for that? And, you know, like you said, you got the viewership and you got those numbers. So it's kind of just on you guys to leverage that as athletes and teams. And
absolutely, yeah. I mean, if we can, at the end of the day, if we can get more money coming in, that kind of comes from all those views as well. But if we can get more money coming in, then that subscription fee could, in theory, drop maybe in the future. You know, of course, it might increase, but if our sport could get a massive title sponsor that could walk in with, you know, 10 million a year or something, the sport would absolutely change. Like, it would change massively. The guys that are in charge of it now know how to change the sport and know how to make it good, but there's a lot of limiting factors, and we have the UCI cycling as well as the venues as well. So you've got 3 parties all trying to create one event, and it can be really difficult because if one of those parties don't agree with something, then you're ahead, you know, and they kind of have arguments. And I kind of know a bit from both sides of it this year from last year, that's been the hardest challenge. It's like trying to get these 3 parties to link up and all be willing to make the same change so that they can step forward as one. Whereas some people are coming up with ideas and these guys aren't ready for that change. And there's definitely politics involved. And where there's big money, there is politics. That's, again, just life, such is life. But yeah, it's I genuinely wholeheartedly believe that it's going to be better, and I don't think I've noticed any decrease in the last 2 or 3 years to the response I'm getting online, people watching the races, sponsorship money. I mean, we've just managed to start a race team from scratch, and we have enough budget to take 6 professional athletes around the world with, you know, 6 or 7 additional staff members, and we've kind of done it out of the blue, you know, but it's probably going to be over 1 million. And it is what it is. We do it for the love of doing it. None of us are here for the money, really. You know, it'd be nice to make money and not lose it, but we're doing it because we fucking love racing bikes, and the fans are tuning in because they love watching racing bikes, and that's what it should be remembered as. You know, fundamentally, we're entertainment, and let's entertain. You know, let's give the people a show.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.